Floor to the representative of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Madam President. We wish to congratulate you upon your accession to the presidency of the Security Council, and we thank the United Kingdom for its presidency over the past month. Madam President, we wish to thank the Special Representative of the Secretary General, Madam Jeanine Hennis-Plasschaert, for the briefing, and we are grateful for the statement by Archbishop Bashar Mati Warba, and the briefing by the Permanent Observer of the ICRC, Mr. Mardini. The Russian Federation steadfastly advocates maintaining the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of Iraq, upholding internal stability and security. We're closely following developments on the ground in this Arab country. We understand that the root causes for the current protests that have engulfed the country are socioeconomic in nature. For the tremendous amount of issues that have amassed in recent days cannot be settled overnight. For this reason, it is important for the international community to deliver support to Baghdad in establishing comprehensive measures, the aim of which is to rebuild the economy and to improve the social sector. Our hope is that the leading parliamentary factions will manage to, in the timeline set under the Constitution of Iraq, to select a new consensus-based candidature for the Prime Minister and to preempt the emergence of a power vacuum in the country, which is fraught with a further escalation of risks. We believe that there is a need to resolve internecine strife and restore stability in the region, which is of key significance for the whole region of the Middle East. In the context of national dialogue, it is important to pursue dialogue in establishing mutual understanding between Baghdad and Erbil. We believe that a further improvement of relations between them will help Iraq to improve its security. We have learned with trouble, we are troubled to note that there's a persistently high terrorist threat. This is compounded by the fact that after the military defeat of ISIL in Syria, terrorists are flowing from that area. We believe that in order to effectively counter this threat, there's a need to maximally bring together the coordination of counterterrorism efforts. At the same time, there's a need for all players involved in counterterrorism to respect the sovereignty of the Iraqi state and for them to coordinate their action with Baghdad. We listened attentively to the statement delivered by His Grace. We wish to underscore the importance of maintaining both in Iraq and the Middle East, maintaining ethnic and religious diversity, which has been the case over the course of millennia in the area. However, this long, hard-won balance was disrupted by the heinous atrocities perpetrated by pseudo-Muslim terrorist groups. As a result, Christians and other religious minorities who largely were a stabilizing factor found themselves in forced exile. There's a need to adopt immediate measures to stem the mass exodus of Christians and other minorities from Middle East countries and to maintain the unique balance of coexistence. In this connection, we cannot but recall the recent tragedy in Syrian Qamishli, when ISIL terrorists murdered a priest of the Armenian Catholic Church, Hovsid Badoyan, and his father. The Patriarch of Moscow and Al-Rus Kirill condemned this crime and extended his condolences. We continue to focus attention on identifying the fate of two Christian metropolitans, John and Paul of Aleppo. Madam President, we are troubled by the potential adverse consequences vis-à-vis the domestic political situation in Iraq as a result from the artificial fomenting of tensions around Iran. Attempts to drag the country into a regional confrontation destabilize the atmosphere within Iraq. Iraq has the right to build and develop normal relations with its neighbors, and nobody has the right to undermine these relations. Once again, we stress the importance of launching mechanisms for dialogue in the region instead of sanctions and threats. In this connection, we wish to recall the following. The UN Secretary General has been vested with a mandate to develop security and confidence-building measures in the region pursuant to Security Council Resolution 598. We are open to cooperation on this basis with all the regional and international stakeholders and partners through our concept for collective security in the Persian Gulf region. To conclude, we wish to note the efforts of the United Nations Assistance Mission in Iraq. We believe that its efforts should facilitate national reconciliation, help to ensure long-term stabilization in the country. For our part, in contact with all of our Iraqi political forces, we are prompting them to pool efforts to settle all issues on the domestic agenda in Iraq through a nationwide dialogue and reaching mutually acceptable agreements that would reflect the interests of all ethno-religious groups of this Arab Republic. Thank you.
I thank the representative of the Russian Federation. I give the